Guys, what is going on? Today we emptied out our deep freezer and we have a cooler full of old bait here. Today our plan is to anchor up on one of our beautiful shallow reefs and dump this entire cooler and see what comes. So let's go find a place to anchor and start chumming. Alright, so we just dropped the anchor in only 11 feet of water. The water is crystal clear. You can see the bottom from the surface. Check it out. So we're going to do a few different things today. We brought our dive gear, so we're going to jump in the water. We're going to throw a bunch of this stuff in, see what comes, film a bunch of different kind of fish for you guys. And then the hope is that a bunch of snappers come and then we can start fishing for them and hopefully catch some dinner. We may even find some lobsters down there while we're diving because we could totally do that on this reef here. Basically, this stuff has just been accumulating in our deep freezer for the last 3 years. There is old shrimp heads from when we went shrimping. There's glass minnows from the glass minnow run. There's old pilchards from when those were running. There's ballyhoo, there's squid. And this stuff comes out fishing with us. And if we don't use it, we bring it back home, we put it in the freezer, it gets back in the cooler, we bring it out again. So every once in a while, it's just good to empty out our deep freezer. Our deep freezer was getting kind of icy, so it was time to clean it out. So perfect opportunity to make a video for you guys, dump all this stuff, and maybe even catch some dinner. So the first thing that we're gonna do is actually put out a chum block. This is one that has been frozen and then defrosted, brought out on the boat, put back in the freezer, so it's kind of gross, so that is why we're getting rid of it today. So that's the first thing that we're gonna do. So go ahead, put out the chum boy.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna start chopping up some of this stuff here. Got my trusty Dexter tiger edge knife here. A great knife to have on your boat. Look at that, old goggle eye, missing an eyeball even. This guy probably went out fishing with us, didn't survive, and then we threw him in the freezer. So I'm in the water. We got the dive flag up on the boat. Vic's gonna stay in the boat and start chumming some more. Let's see what we can find. There are ballyhoo that we love to use for bait, and then there's a bunch of like small snappers, mangrove snappers, yellowtail snappers, dog snappers, there's triggerfish, filefish, all kinds of stuff. Dumb fish is what I would call them, who are not afraid to get close to you and get close to the boat. Then off in the distance, I can actually see yellowtail snappers that are legal, some mangrove snappers that are legal. I'm not talking about giants, but they're legal. And then I saw a porgy, and the closer you get to them, they back away. So it's kind of one of those things where you chum until they get dumb, where they'll then eventually get closer to the boat. Grouper must be so full, he has a piece of goggle eye sticking out of his mouth that he can't even get down. Alright, so we just pulled up the anchor and we're going to move spots. You know, there was a lot of fish there, but not really the variety that I was looking for. It was mostly chubs and ballyhoo. And the more pretty fish like parrotfish and then the snappers and things, they were staying pretty far and they didn't want to come close, and our anchor actually kind of dragged across the sand to a place that I didn't really enjoy to be anchored at. So we're gonna go try a different area. But we still have a ton of stuff in the cooler back there. We don't have a lot of chum left in the chum bag, but I think we still have enough stuff to draw a good crowd to the boat. So we moved from that 11-foot area to now we are in 18 feet. So we're gonna start throwing some stuff in here and then jump in, see if we can find some better fish.
Look at all that good stuff. Doesn't look good for us, but these fish are gonna go crazy over it. They're not picky.
So far, we've been at this new spot for only a few minutes, and there's a lot more grouper. I just saw an eel, a big mutton, except it's gonna be a lot harder to film for you guys because it's now probably closer to like 20 feet, so the bottom time isn't as good. I finally spotted a lobster. There's two there. I can't really tell how big they are yet, but there's two lobsters. I mean, come on, that guy's literally asking to be caught. He came all the way out at me. Like, just catch me, bring me home for dinner. So you already know that we brought my handmade tickle sticks and nets. So Vic is gonna tickle this lobster out and I'm gonna net it.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. That's a nice size one. So we got dinner, ladies and gents. We're feeding the fish dinner, and we got lobster for dinner. There's still another one, so I'm gonna throw this on the boat, try and catch the other one.
Don't miss.
So I dive down to tickle out what I think is only the other lobster under this rock. And right here, it shoots out the side of the rock and I never even seen it. Victor noticed it and started following it. He's about to yell at me to get my attention right now. But what he doesn't know is that there's actually 2 more lobsters that were under that rock as well. And I'm about to catch a double right here. That lobster went to a rock where there was 3 more lobsters. I just got a double. This one's, I'm pretty sure, legal. I don't think this one is. I'm gonna measure both of them though. Will you grab this one, Vic? This one is legal. I'm gonna measure the other one now. Throw them in the boat. This one I don't think will be legal.
I bet you he is.
Wow, he's legal. Just like that, Vic. 3 lobsters. And a double. That was pretty epic, huh? So I just jumped in the boat to put the lobsters in the cooler, but those jellyfish that I filmed for you guys, I believe they're called moon jellyfish. I'm not 100% positive. I'll put the actual name on the screen if I was wrong, but I am stinging. I don't know. I didn't actually see myself run into any of them, but I'm pretty sure I must have ran into some because I am stinging really bad, but I'm sure it'll probably just go away. So let's get these lobsters in the cooler though. Here's our first one. Before I show you guys those lobsters, I'm gonna tell you about today's video sponsor, which is Element. Element is a tasty electrolyte drink mix with everything you need and nothing that you don't. It can help prevent and eliminate headaches, muscle cramps, fatigue, and other common symptoms of electrolyte deficiency without all the added junk. That means no sugar, no coloring, no artificial ingredients, no gluten, and no fillers. I have a pretty active lifestyle and I've always been prone to dehydration headaches, but not anymore since implementing Element into my life. So whether I am in the hot sun, on the boat all day, fishing and diving, going to the gym, or just doing yard work, I can always count on Element to help me feel my best. So if you're interested in trying out Element, they are offering you guys a free sample pack with any purchase. This is a great way to try all 8 of their delicious flavors. So if you're interested, go to drinkelement.com/BrookCrist, or you can use my link in the video description, but that's the only way to get this deal is by clicking the link or go to drinkelement.com/BrookCrist. Now let's get back to the boat, mix up my favorite flavor, which is the raspberry salt, and check out those lobsters. Nice big boy. The ones are hiding back here. Number 2. And then here was that small one that I really thought wasn't gonna be legal, but I mean, I measured them and the water will measure them here again. So take my gauge, put it between his eyes, and then if it falls off the back of the head, the carapace, it would be too short, but it's touching his head, which means it's a legal lobster. If it fell behind his head like that, towards the tail, then that would mean it was short, but it's not. It falls right on his head, so it's legal. We're gonna move spots again, probably go to just like a ball or something and not have to worry about throwing the anchor. So let's go move spots because we're losing daylight. All right, if you guys have ever gone out of Hillsborough Inlet, you know that they have these anchor balls anchored up over nice, beautiful reef places. And we're gonna be so lazy as to not even loop a rope through it and just put it on our own cleat. So start throwing some chum in this area and see what we can see here. Those mangrove snappers are eating every single minnow that hits the water. Goes from probably 18 feet to a drop off to maybe 25-ish feet.
I've noticed today a bunch of this white stuff on top of the rock, almost like bleaching. If you guys have been following along with my videos, you know that I've been diving, I don't know, maybe 10 times already this summer or something like that. And this is the first time that I've seen this white stuff. I don't know what it is on top of the coral. If you guys know, comment down below, but I don't feel like I've ever seen it before. But as you can see, it's literally everywhere. If you guys just saw that, but a zero mackerel just swam by. Was that a zero mackerel? Yeah, I thought so.
Was a great day to be alive.
Well, I had a pretty fun afternoon with you, Vicky.
I did too.
We didn't really get out here till like 1 o'clock, and now it's actually 6 o'clock, so we spent a long time trying to search for fish. It wasn't as crazy as that one time we did. I think it was the first time we ever did this. We did it in 11 feet of water. We filled a cooler with yellowtails and mangrove snappers.
Big snapper. And we also had a bunch of hits from mackerel and kingfish and
Yes,
stuff.
right, yeah. So today was not like that. I mean, we probably could have thrown out a couple lines and caught a couple of fish, but probably nothing like really worth talking about.
But you got 3 lobster. You got a great double on video with the lobster.
I hope you
lobster
got
net.
some of it on video at least.
I got you coming up, that's for sure.
That spot was a little bit murky, and I had a hard time finding where Victor was. I was looking all over the place and I could not find him, and I was like, wow, he literally just missed me getting a double. I caught one with the net, took it out, held it with my hand, took the net with my other hand, netted the other lobster, and grabbed it. So I got a double. It was so perfect. I really wish it would have been on video for you guys. But those are my nets that I make, the net and the tickle stick. You guys can find them at floridalobsternets.com. You guys see us catch all our lobsters with them. They work great. We love them. I'll have a link down below for those as well. But now we're going to just cruise home and clean these lobsters. Maybe clean the boat tonight. I guess it depends what time we get back, and maybe we'll just have to clean it tomorrow, and then cook up some lobsters. So see you guys at the dock. Here are our 3 lobsters from today. Here's that nice big one. That one we thought was small but is legal. And just when you put it next to a big one, sometimes you just think that it's not a keeper. So I'm gonna show you guys how to clean it. 1 hand on the head, 1 hand on the tail. I always like to wear gloves because if you don't, you'll be sorry. And you're gonna twist. I also like to always do this over the water because a lot of water is gonna run out. And that water is also mixed with their lobster blood, which is actually like glue when it dries. So I don't like to get that on anything. So that's why I like to do it over the water. I just broke off the tip of their antenna. And now I'm going to get out their vein. just stick the thicker part of the antenna in first, and it pulls it out just like that. Nice and easy. And there's the part that you don't want to eat in that lobster tail. And now here is your beautiful lobster tail ready for the kitchen. We actually had enough time to get the boat washed, cover on, lobsters cleaned, so I will see you guys in the kitchen. Hey guys, welcome back to the kitchen. As you can see, there is more than 3 lobsters here. And if you guys saw our video from mini season, you saw that we caught a lot of lobsters. So some of these have been in the freezer since July 28th, I believe the day of mini season was. So lobsters freeze really, really well. So if we're not planning on eating the lobster like that day or the next day, we always freeze them. Pull lobster out of the freezer even a year later and it almost tastes just as good as the day you caught it. So I have my whole family coming over for dinner tonight. Might as well cook for everybody. I've already taken the lobsters out of the shells, which I will show you guys how to do that now. So this is actually a clip from a few weeks ago, hence the pink nail polish, but you're gonna take a nice heavy duty knife, cut down the lobster all the way down into the back side of the shell, flip it over, use the palm of your hand to just crack it, and you should be able to just peel the shell off, whether it's a fresh lobster or a frozen lobster, peel it out, and a lot of times you might end up with some stuff still inside like I'm pointing to right there. So rinse that stuff out. It's part of that vein. Maybe it broke a little bit, sand, lobster poop, who knows. So now what I like to do is to skin out my lobsters. You're just getting rid of that little tiny bit of red skin on the outside of the lobster. If you don't know, lobsters grow by molting. So they have different stages, and this skin could be thick, it could be thin, and you just get a much more delicious lobster if you take the time to remove that little teeny tiny bit of skin. It's not a lot of waste, and it's gonna make your lobster taste a lot better. So the recipe I'm doing tonight is I'm going to be searing the lobster. Really simple. I'm just gonna hit it with some salt, pepper, and some garlic powder. We're going real easy, and we're going to sear these outside, and we're gonna make like a delicious sherry cream sauce for some pasta to serve it with. So that was salt. Now we got the fresh cracked pepper, and then lastly garlic powder. Okay, so let's get started on our sherry tomato cream sauce. So we have some olive oil in the pan and going in with 1 shallot. A lot of times Victor makes recipes with fish that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to try that with lobster. So a lot of times I kind of just like copy him a little bit. He is my inspiration for a lot of my dishes, but he actually made this the other night and served it, like the sauce that I'm making, and served it over fish, and it was to die for. So I'm gonna just serve it on top of pasta because it was so good. I'm not gonna like put it on top of the lobster, but I just wanted to serve it with tonight's dinner because it was really easy and very delicious. Next, we're going in with some garlic. Next, we're going in with some tomatoes that we quartered. And we're gonna just let these tomatoes cook down for a while now. Next thing we're going in with is some dry sherry. I'm actually gonna use the rest of this bottle. And now we're gonna just let that reduce as well. So next we're going in with 2 cups of chicken stock. So since I'm using this as a pasta sauce, that's why I'm trying to get some volume here. And the chicken stock is just more flavorful than water. Next that's going in is some basil. Nice homegrown, fresh from the backyard. And then some lemon zest. All right, so we are outside. Anytime we have the opportunity to sear anything, I love to do it outside so we don't smoke up the house. So we are outside on the side burner, and here we go. Going in with our lobsters. time to flip. Oh yeah, baby, look at that. Here. So we're also throwing in now 2 tablespoons of butter, so like 1/4 of a stick of butter. Next thing we're going in with to our sauce is some heavy whipping cream. Next thing going in is scallion. All right, these babies are coming off. Okay, everybody, you can come.
Great job, and it's one of the things about cooking that's always so interesting and so much fun is we've eaten like thousands of lobsters amongst all of us, and even after this much time you could still have a dish that you're like, wow, that may have been one of the best lobster dishes I've ever had, even though we've eaten so many. And I will say this is one of the best sauces I've ever had, maybe in a dish ever. We were joking about putting it in a mug and because we didn't want to waste it. Like, it is that good. So I would bookmark this recipe and use it in the future for all you guys watching. But yeah, good job, Brooke, on the lobster tonight.
Thank you.
It was a great recipe. The sauce tasted as good as it looked, and with the pasta and all those ingredients she put in there, it was very flavorful. And I just really love Florida lobster when Brooke takes the time to take the red skin off. It made it so good. I ate 2 lobsters tonight, so it was delicious. Good job, Brooke.
Thank you.
I enjoyed the red tomato cream sauce too. It was very flavorful, super good. The grill marks on the lobster were just so good. I really love this meal too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brooke.
I still have lots to learn in the kitchen for sure, and it's nice to have all these recipes to fall back on. I still haven't gotten my lobster to this level yet, but I'm hoping with time that eventually maybe. But great meal, well done, and it is always nice to know that I helped to kind of catch something that's on the table actually. So well done, Brook.
Thank you.
You guys, just like the creativity that when you guys make any sauce is like amazing. Obviously the lobster with the sauce and the pasta tastes amazing. It was very light and refreshing, so I like that a lot about the sauce because sometimes it's too thick, but this was really good. So.
Thank you.
I loved everything. I had a great time diving with Brookie and then cooking together, filming together. I'm just a happy man. That's all I got to say.